Derick Giwner back with Matt Rose to look at Rosecroft Raceway for Sunday, November the 15th, specifically race number 11. It's the $100,000 Potomac pace, I think it is, Matt, right? I know I get this name wrong every year, and you correct me.
Every year. Potomac, I believe it is. A $100,000 Potomac pace invitational for age pacers, $100,000 event. That's getting a bit of a following the last few years, and they got a very strong field, which I'm sure you're very eager to introduce momentarily.
Yeah, we have a great field of 9 horses here lined up this year, obviously led by what you see up there are listed drivers and my DRF harness morning line, because it wasn't available when we started this video. So I just wanted to point that out. And I think the morning line favorite will likely end up being the favorite at post time of Bettor's Wish.
Yeah, I can't argue with your morning line interpretation here. I think the favorite is going to be Bettor's Wish and deserves to be the favorite. This 4-year-old from the Chris Ryder barn is clearly the most accomplished of these aged pacers, and it's not always that often we say a 4-year-old is potentially at the top of the division, but it's been wide open all season as these older guys have been kind of taking their turns. But Bettor's Wish has been a consistent force throughout the entire season with 5 wins and 11 starts, 9 of 11 in the money. And although he faces a strong field, he deserves to be the favorite. And I think he's in a good spot to do some more damage tonight. That's for sure.
The top 4 in this race are coming out of the Breeders' Crown on October 31st at Harrah's Hoosier Park. We're going to take a look at video from that race, and it includes Bettor's Wish, but it also includes the winner who's sitting in the pocket here, Century Pharaoh.
Yeah, we had Backstreet Shadow on the lead, which figured it was a good spot or a good race for him to show his speed. Century Pharaoh coming up the rail, waiting patiently, I guess, for the rail to open. Bettor's Wish on the outside, and Bettor's Wish put in a solid 2-move uncovered effort. Just got beat by the trip sitter. He ran a great race. Century Pharaoh just saved enough ground, was able to get clear, and got up for a well-deserved score. He's been also very consistent all season, but maybe flying a little bit under the radar because he hasn't won some of his big races. But it was good to see him win that big race in the Breeders' Crown. And you know what? Another 4-year-old and another one in with a big shot here. And Backstreet Shadow, who we saw in the lead, he's in here. Maybe going to the smaller track will help him. This is the plan also. We saw him coming from way too far back as we have 2 Ron Burke trainees. And what's an invitational pace without a couple of Ron Burke trainees? That's for sure. He always shows up with at least one, and normally more than one, live horses here. He's got the 2 inside horses, but this is the plan in Backstreet Shadow.
Yeah, this race shapes up kind of interesting. The inside posts don't win that well here. They're only winning at like 9-10% here, whereas posts 5 and 6 are closer to the 17 to 20% range for anyone who likes post position stats. But the inside post, there's a lot of speed in this race. I could see this is the plan could leave, Backstreet Shadow could leave, World of Secrets could leave, Century Pharaoh could leave, Stars Align. I mean, almost every horse in this field could be in the gate in theory.
Yeah, in theory. I mean, all these top-notch pacers always have tactical speed when they're in the right, definitely when they're in the right scenarios, they can fire off the gate. I guess one of the Yonkers shippers, Leonidas A, is maybe the only horse that we haven't really seen much gate speed from. And meanwhile, he's been closing a ton in those Yonkers Open races and also a couple wins up at Plain Ridge. But yeah, I mean, all these guys have speed when needed, or tactical speed. So obviously they can't all have the frontier. It should be very interesting. What I imagine would be a sub-26 opening quarter as they kind of sort themselves out. Obviously the early pace scenario will play a huge role in this race. So should be an interesting early affair, that's for sure. And obviously then the trips we'll see how the trips play out.
Yeah, I mean, when I was looking at this, I figured that, the inside 2 from Burke will show some speed. I think World of Secrets probably won't, which is the 4 here. I think this is not a spot for him to gun out. Century Pharaoh, I see definitely leaving the gate. I definitely think Stars Align will be leaving the gate. Higher leader's probably going to have no shot, no chance, but to have to take back. I ended up going the way of Bettor's Wish in this race. I know he's going to be the favorite. I'm hoping that I can get somewhere in the 7-5 range, something like that on him in this spot. I think all the speed really sets up for him. I think he could kind of float away, wait for the dust to settle, either make a quick move to the lead or even grind first over. I think that's potentially a winning move if they go fast enough on the front. And that's why I went his way. I like the 2 Burke horses on the inside to be, in the exotic somewhere. And if I was going to throw in a bomb, it would be Harambe Deo. I just think this horse is really sharp. Colorful won this race last year with Endeavor at a pretty big price, if memory serves. And you know what? The way this race shapes up, if they get too crazy with speed, I don't see him leaving at all. I think he could potentially be sitting on cover and get involved at 30-1, 35-1, somewhere in that range. Yeah, so I went that way, and I'm throwing out Century Pharaoh because of the fact that he's going to be an underlay coming off a Breeders' Crown win where he had a perfect trip.
Yeah, but you know what? I'll leave it to Dave Miller to work out some sort of other perfect trip here. I'm on board with you with Bettor's Wish. He's proven he can overcome any sort of trip, whether it's on the front end, two moving, grinding uncovered, rallying off cover. He could do it any which way. He's the most proven entity here. And you said 7-5 or 8-5. I think he might go a little lower than that, even though it's just a strong field. But he has the certainly the reputation here, and maybe most of the name recognition, and he's always hovering around that favoritism status. I'm going to go with him on top. I do like Century Pharaoh underneath. I know I'm not looking at a ton of value here, as that'll probably be one of the lower exactas with Bettor's Wish on top. But like I said, this guy's been right there all throughout his 3-year-old season, now his 4-year-old season. And he finally broke through with that major win last week, and I think he can certainly ride that high. And he's another one that has some versatility, though obviously is closer to the front. You mentioned the 2 Burke trainees. I'll throw him in 3rd and 4th. I kind of like Backstreet Shadow in his last start in the Breeders' Crown because I figured he might be in an uncontested lead. That stretch just goes on forever. Going to a smaller size track would probably help him. I also like This Is the Plan, who I believe was my top choice in that race. He had too far to come. Will he have too far to come in this start? Probably not. You mentioned Harambe Deo, sharp as attack coming off those Meadowlands races, but you know what? They're all sharp. So for the underneath, it's obviously it's going to come down to trip. It's kind of cool to see the Aaron Merriman co-owned World of Secrets shipping in from Northfield Park, where he's just been a terror recently in their open handicaps, facing the likes of South and Amazon and the other regulars there. Super in his last 2 starts, but sure, he can pace 150 on a half-mile track, but this is a major test, so I'd be surprised if we got anything more than a small check. And the outside 3 horses, like you mentioned, I think they're just post-compromise. Stars Align has been on quite a roll, but again, I don't know if he can get anywhere near the lead in this spot. And Highlander, he's been one of our big young favorites week in and week out, just done in by the post. And Leonidas probably coming from either last or second to last, so they'd have to go maybe like sub 120 to the 3/4 for him to get involved. But I'm gonna leave it to Dexter Dunn and Bettor's Wish to work out a winning trip, or doesn't even necessarily need a winning trip. And I will I hate to give out a chalk play, but I think he's going to win this race. It's that simple.
Well, that's the 11th race on Sunday at Rosecroft. The Potomac pace, $100,000 on the line. Potomac. I'm never going to get this right. It's just you have one of those brain farts in you where you just, it's ingrained in your head one way and you can't get it out. They have a $5,000 guaranteed pick 5. I believe it starts in race 7, a $2,500 guaranteed pick 4 starting in race 9. So a couple small guaranteed pools for those that want to take a shot at the exotic wagering. They're supposed to have 14 races on the card. Post time is 7:15 p.m. We'll have free PPs on DRF.com. We'll also have the live video of the card on Harness Live. So check it all out. Good luck.